session from 7, and it's a conclusion of the SPIR and the project, and also its evaluation part and company decision making. After that session, next time we will have full demo of the functionality in March. And a quick recap. Last topics covered, it's part list for a GitHub ID demo we have provided to you, and supplier contribution in SPIR. It was the previous show and tell session. And key takeaway, supplier contribution, which we call commercial information, can be provided due to our functionality equipment by equipment. So that means that evaluation and decision making could be done gradually and almost in parallel. So let's go to the features. Any user with access to the project's module can find the list of SPIRs or packages where the user's company is assigned as a participant on the corresponding page, which called SPIR. There is a responsibility in SPIR called evaluator. That person can be assigned from owner or coordinator company side, and if evaluator is not assigned, the owner or coordinator can perform the evaluation process. And evaluator is notified when evaluator is notified about some part of completed supplier's work. The evaluator can navigate to the corresponding SPIR page. Actually, evaluator can navigate to any SPIR details page even without any notifications, only by understanding this summary on this page, like what have been updated lately by supplier. And when evaluator is on the package or SPIR details page, you can see the full view of this page. There is a new section in the second table in the equipment material data, which called evaluation. This highlighted in blue. It means that it's editable, and also there are some fields which are required to complete by evaluator, highlighted in red. Those fields are quantity commissioning spares and quantity 2 years operational spares, highlighted only for the rows for which supplier provided their input, their commercial information in supplier's input section, which we described in the previous session. And all other fields like existing stock, existing minimum value, existing maximum value, existing spare part location, bill of material, and material master number are optional fields, but still editable. This information can be provided by evaluator for a person who will perform, make company decision afterwards for this particular equipment, which covers one or more tag numbers in that package. So this is the view in the bottom table where evaluator provided information, the quantities. Nothing is highlighted in red. That means that this particular evaluation of this equipment can be checked as done on the top table by ticking the corresponding checkbox. And if supplier changed something, it is allowed for supplier to change something even if evaluation has been performed already. If supplier changed something for that particular equipment, after it has been evaluated, the date of supplier's change will be highlighted in red in this table so that the evaluator knows that this equipment should have more attention and maybe re-evaluation. So this is done in a very simple way, of course, without any notification system and other nice to have features, but it's something that will allow to perform basic flow. This is the full view of the SPIR details page for owner or coordinator. Except of the project context here, there are two tables with the equipment information in the same view, almost the same view as for evaluator or supplier, but with some extension in the second table. This extension includes also the section of company decision. So right now, a user who has owner or coordinator responsibility is able to provide final quantities for the items for which supplier provided the input and evaluator has provided the input. In the same principle, highlighted in red only mandatory fields, its commission spares quantity to be ordered and 2 years operational spares quantity to be ordered. The following column, total quantity to be ordered, it's auto-calculated. It's sum of the two previous fields. And new mean value, new max value, spare part location are optional editable fields also. And the last column, total price per item, shows also the auto-calculated numbers, as you can see here. When owner, for example, provided the quantities, total quantities auto-calculated and total price per item are calculated. Also, here, checkbox for company decision can be ticked as well. The date is here when it has been done, and from this moment, for all other participants of the SPIR, this particular equipment is not editable. If owner or coordinator decides that there still need to be some changes applied for this particular equipment, the checkbox should be unticked and this equipment becomes editable again. Owner coordinator or coordinator adds all required information and ticks corresponding checkbox in the top general SPIR info table. Like I said, and the equipment row is blocked. From the moment when coordinator or owner decides that the package is completed and should be concluded, it can be concluded by pressing on the corresponding conclude button. After the package is concluded, the status is changed. It cannot be editable by anyone, but the details can be viewed anytime and export can be done also anytime. And the package can be also reopened. If that happens, the system returns the package in the previous state. The same functionality can be applied to the project level. The project can be concluded in similar way. And when the project is concluded, all its packages also concluded automatically. If the project is reopened, packages also all the packages returns in their previous state. Yeah, and also if all packages have been concluded on the package level, the system will automatically conclude the project. So this is everything about conclusion, about evaluation and company decision making. Except I maybe forgot to explain. One moment, I will go back to that page. Here on the top of the page, we have such text SPIR cost. By an hour, you will see, depending on your responsibility, you will see the calculations of this particular SPIR, which are based on the prices and evaluation and company decision making. There will be three costs: supplier operational cost, evaluation cost, and company decision, like final SPIR cost. Yeah, right now that's it. So please, questions.
Henning?
Yes, question. If and when, rather, the quality needs to be questioned towards master data, so recommended quantities, or any other technical data, will there be any room for adding comments, or do you call it communication with vendor?
You mean commenting? Commenting is not included in the phase 1, but of course there should be implemented some feature. We don't know exactly what it should be. Like, it can be chat functionality, it can be commenting of each row with each equipment, and many other things. We just would like to get right now feedback from all and decide which will be the most helpful thing here. Yeah, we understand that there should be something implemented for internal communication.
Reason for my question, Ola, is that 8 or 9 out of 10 SPIRs has not the right quality first time. So most often you need to comment on all the quality issues or the input issues, and then make that as a statement and then return it to get it improved according to the standard required. So I think this shows like the perfect world when everything's 100% the first time, which it usually is not. And then we need some kind of, I would say, user functionality or user interface that actually also helps the SPIR coordinators or whoever does the evaluation to keep track of things and have control. And I think that's important to take forward.
Yeah, definitely.
See Roy, then Mette.
Yes, if you go back to your template, the details.
Details of company decision or evaluation part?
Well, the evaluation part, I think. Yeah, and that's
the full view, and this is like in details.
And it's a little bit back to my question the last session about
quantity
installed per.
I will show you on this in this view, because on the previous page you have seen only this part of the table, but here we have also suppliers input. I will try to make it bigger. Yeah, and here we have quantity column. This information is taken from EcoHub ID level for this particular equipment.
Yeah. Okay. And my next question there is, this line there, is that for one tag or is it for more than one tag? Because I could see.
Look, I understand your question.
First line there seems to be two tags.
In the first table, all lines, all the information is grouped by EcoHub ID. It means that EcoHub ID is unique per row, but one EcoHub ID can cover more than one tag. Tags can be found here, but count of tag is visible here. So this EcoHub ID, this equipment covers 2 tags, and this EcoHub ID information, like equipment price and everything, and its parts included on EcoHub ID level, are presented in the bottom table. It means that if you will click to another EcoHub ID row here, you will get corresponding information here.
Okay. Yeah. Okay. Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you, Mette. You had your hand up, but you took it down?
Yeah, I took it down. Yeah, no
question. Good. And then Magdalena from Shell, please.
Hi, thank you. I have actually 2 questions, if you don't mind. First one is about the existing stock, existing min, max value. Can these values be pulled from SAP, or do they have to be put manually by the evaluator?
Thank you for your question. At this moment, only manually. but it's planned, of course, different kinds of integration to get help do it automatically.
Okay. And second question, as I understood, supplier has one view, right? So no matter how many users we could have from suppliers, they would see the same thing. Is it the same with the owner and coordinator, that every single user can see all of those columns in blue? Evaluator and the decision for min-max, everyone sees that? Or is it somehow separated into few roles? Then first there's a person who does the first part, then the second person is notified that the first stopped working or finished working. How is it done?
It's not coordinated yet. If several coordinators or several suppliers are here, they see the same picture. The interface right now at that moment doesn't allow to separate the parts, but it's a very good comment. So it can be implemented as well. Yeah.
Can I clarify also? Maybe I'm just so to make sure I understood correctly. So what Ola said, yes, correct. In terms of who sees what, as we discussed in the previous sessions, you as the owner or the coordinator you give the responsibility to will define which persons or users will have access to different parts. So, for example, commercial information is not default available to every single user from the operator side. This is defined in the context of the SPIR delivery, where the owner or the coordinator defines the people who should be. It could be more than one per thing, but it's defined there in the setup who sees what. And most of the information is available, but in terms of commercial information, it's more restricted. But of course, you could decide that your colleagues in Shell could also see the same information. But at that note, we want to make sure that the supplier understands also who has access to the commercial information.
Okay, and may I follow up one more thing? So let's say that if we have two people, one of them is evaluator and the second one decides on min-max, how can the second person know that the first one finished their work? Is it through the tick and some kind of notification is sent to the next person, or it completely doesn't work like that?
Ola, if I can start, you can add on, and Knut also. So the supplier, so and you're saying two people in the evaluation pool, one is doing something and the other one is doing something else. Yeah. So if one of those users at this stage ticks off done, then it's done. If he or she doesn't tick off, it's still open for both actors. In the next phase of this project, we will look into more how to enable so-called concurrent editing and workflows. But for this first start, we have made it fairly, like Ola said, business process focused. So it's possible to complete, but there's no advanced or sophisticated interface to tell you that your colleague is doing something. It's more of a, you will see it once it's done, and if your colleague ticks it off, you will see that it's been ticked off.
Okay, thank you very much.
Thanks for the question. And then Mette, and then over to Roy.
I was wondering about the user interface. Let's say that you're working with a SPIR which has several hundreds of tags, maybe, or 100 tags. How easily can you filter, or the supplier, can he filter by all the roles that are not completed by him yet, instead of having to scroll up and down to find those roles that he's been working on? And the same thing for evaluator. Can you sort by finished? Can you filter by finished or not finished?
Ola, you want to add? Yeah, good question. I think I will start here as well, and please add on, Ola or Knut. So in terms of filtering and features, in terms of the interface, I don't believe we have too many nice to have filtering mechanisms in the first version now. But once we go live with this and during the testing with you, we will define, this would be really good to have, and this should really be implemented. And we will move on to that once we have deployed this to production and probably gap those holes. But for now, if I remember correctly, not too many fancy mechanisms in terms of, but you have an option to export at any time. So if you use your example with the 100 tags, it's going to be difficult to do that efficiently in a user interface anyway, with or without filtering, because you have a lot of information there. So most of the cases, people would like to extract data, then understand it, and then really go and fill in the gaps in the solution based from our experience. But we will come back to this. So very good question and improvement suggestion, Mette.
Can I just add something there also? So the items you see on materials there is also grouped by EQHub ID, which means that you have, if you have 20 tags of the same equipment, then it's just one line per EQHub ID. So you have all the tag number linked to it. So probably you have some duplication if you have hundreds of tags. Then yeah.
Thank you, Roy.
Yes, now the SPIR is concluded, and we need to get all this data into SAP. So what is the downloading or export functionality of all the data here? I'm thinking of all MRP data, which needs to be updated in MRP, all the bills of material data that needs to be established in SAP, and also the data for creating purchase requisitions in SAP. So yeah, my question is there any downloading functionality?
Yes, there will be downloading functionality similar to the response Mette got. When you have provided all of these data or others have, you need to be able to extract that and actually process that, be it you looking through it or you putting this into SAP somehow. But we are also creating API endpoints that will help you with this process. But Roy, your question, is it possible to download? Yes, absolutely. It's important also, I think, now that we have this session here, the next one will be the test, the demo, and then go on to the testing, that you think about these use cases also, so that we make sure that they are included in the actual test when we come to that stage. Hi, Ola, you dropped out, but I just responded to Roy saying that the exports will be available. Also, we're working on APIs, and that it's important that during the testing or even leading up to the testing, we think about these use cases, not just us in the development team, but also our stakeholders here, to make sure that the test scope is adequately defined when we come to that point, so that we can probably be able to test to which extent the exports are in the correct formatting and so on, which we also have a lot of experience on in different services. But yes, I hope that answered your question, Roy.
Yes, thank you.
One follow-up question to that. Will you provide APIs that can be used for integration with other tools?
Yeah, yes. Absolutely. In the first version, we don't have the memorized now, but API feature, yes, and then we will build on this as needed or demonstrated by the stakeholders. So in terms of where this API will be documented, it will be documented in existing API documentation. So Hans-Jørgen, you would find it where you have a documentation for EQHub APIs currently.
Good.
Yep. And Geir, you have a question for Macro Solutions?
Yeah, just add on from what Henning discussed regarding the commenting function. I know it's not in place yet, but from my side, I think it's important to have a commenting function on the SPIR items. one comment to add one comment to each line in a way in the SPIR, and also maybe a general comment on SPIR level, higher level, would be nice or good to have.
Good, thanks. We have noted this down and see what we can manage to do. But I just also say that as Ola described, we have all of these features available, right, already in different forms. We have a chat functions, we have these notifications, we have a so-called working notes function for EQ Hub IDs. So we will reuse this, but we're also a bit cautious to develop everything in the first go, especially in terms of all these notifications, because also of experience, let's see what is actually needed and lacking, if anything, in the first version, and then we together fill in the blanks and fix these things so that we don't overdo it, but we do what's necessary in the first one. Okay, any other final comments or questions?
And just add one thing that we are looking into, how we can try to integrate virtual inventory into this in a future version. So maybe we can have some good benefits there from identifying material numbers and also integrating the stock levels and so on. So
Yes.
that will not be in this version, but we are definitely thinking about how we can integrate that.
Yeah, very good. I want to add on to that one. We have sent to some of you some requests. Some of you, I mean operators, recently asking if there's any resistance in exposing your stock as you've documented in VI to coordinator, and so far no objections to that. So it's important that we clarify this also before we expose VI data, but it's in the works, and will be a very nice feature when the time comes. Okay, thanks for the meeting. Thank you, Ola, for a very good presentation. Thanks for all of your questions. To those of you who have participated, thank you so much. And we'll see you then. When was it, Ola? On the 18th of March. That's when we will have the demo. Yeah, yes. And following that and before that, you will know more about the testing. But yeah, that's the next step now. Full demo. So please book your time in your calendar, invite your colleagues if you want to, and see you then. All right. Bye-bye.
Thank you.
Okay.
Bye.
Okay.
Thank you.
Bye-bye.
Thank you. Bye.
Thank you. Bye.